What?
Amon-Ra St. Brown is excited for Jamison Williams, and quote, he wants to make the playoffs so bad. So bad. The team's excited. He's excited for the fan base. And you know what, guys? I don't think I've ever been more in line or really on the same page with the Lions organization in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for as long as I've been on the show, it's been never up until Brad Holmes was hired. But even way prior to that, even in the Stafford days, making the playoffs, 10-win seasons, 11-win seasons, 9-win seasons, didn't matter. It was never, you were never confident that they could actually deliver the product. And I know what the easy thing to do is. The easy thing to say is, I got to wait till I see it, all right? And that's kind of fair. That is fair. I get you wanting to see it before you give him any credit. That's fine. I can get with that. But the idea of, it's still the Lions at the end of the day, guys. It's the Lions. They're not going to do it. It's the Lions. That's some loser-ass mentality. And if people in the organization were operating that way, I would be just as disgusted. But they're not. This is a playoff caliber team, especially in the NFC. This is a division-winning football team. Dalvin Cook is reportedly in talks to either figure out his contract situation or get cut. The Vikings are not going to be as good as last year. I say they win 4 less games, maybe even 5. Chicago, 7, 8 wins on the probably the best case scenario for them. The Packers, I have no hope for. I don't expect Jordan Love to be what Aaron Rodgers was after Brett Favre. It's just not going to happen. I just highly doubt it.
Yeah.
So all these teams are taking a step back. Outside of the Bears, you could argue a step forward. A small one, but a step forward. This is your division this year. And Amon-Ra should be excited. And Jamison Williams should have a ton of impact on the field this year with a full offseason to get his stuff together. Yeah. So you should buy it. And you know what? If they don't deliver, then you know what? That's their fault, not yours. Not because you believed. Not because you had expectations. None of it. None of it. None of it. It is not your job to go out and play the football games, guys. So yeah, he should be excited. You should be excited for Jamison Williams. You should be excited about this offense. Hell, forget the offense because we know what it is. You should be excited for what possibly could be a top 18, maybe even top 15 defense in the NFL this year. With a division that fields Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love, and Justin Fields. I get it. I get you being scared. I get you not wanting to be vulnerable to a team that's never delivered in their entire history of being an organization. I get it. But that's not an excuse to not look at what's in front of you and say that's not one of the 4 best teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, go to the odds makers. They're the 4th best chances to win the NFC. I can't believe I'm saying that.
It's real.
They're the favorites to win the division. And I think after the Minnesota offseason unfolds, after the draft unfolds and your GM, who is one of the 10 best GMs in the NFL right now, after he has yet another draft where you walk away saying, wow, look what we got. Those odds are going to go from plus 140 to probably minus 115, minus 130, minus 140.
Yeah.
And you are going to be a considerable favorite. Maybe not the hands-down favorite where nobody's doubting you, but still. You have no excuse not to be repeating everything that Amon-Ra St. Brown is saying right now.
Mm-hmm. And it's been consistent. Every year, at least the last 2 years so far, it's felt like Christmas morning with Brad Holmes. It feels like you leave the draft knowing, yeah, we got some playmakers. And more than that, too, the thing I find most interesting about Amon-Ra St. Brown coming out and saying he wants playoffs so bad is to kind of tie back into that conversation earlier about Jalen Carter and the mentality you want in players. Isn't it crazy, too, that even all the guys Brad's drafted, they've checked all these similar boxes. Like, you hear Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden, Malcolm, these guys talk more about the team than individual statistics, which, again, for Amon-Ra, the last 2 seasons he's had and how excellent he is, you can argue he's a top 10 wide receiver right now in the NFL. The comment that goes viral, I want to make the playoffs. And I think that's a consistent thing that Brad's been trying to identify in players, guys that want to win. And it's funny, too, because you look at this Lions team, a majority of their foundational players weren't even alive the last time the Lions won a playoff game.
I wasn't.
So think about that too for a second. Like, these guys don't know those expectations they're talking about. Like, they're not like Lions fans, which is fair. The hesitancy, well, hold on, let's wait and see. I've seen this before, which you have not seen this before, but you don't want to be hurt. I understand that. But when you see guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, these guys, Kirby Joseph, another one who goes on national TV every other week to talk about the Lions, it's so different. And that's why you have every right to be excited, because you have a general manager, and like you said, top 10, you can make that argument. You can put him anywhere you want. He's been consistent in upgrading this team post-draft. We got through free agency. We haven't even gotten to the draft. They have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. They're going to get busy. So for expectations to be this high and players to enforce them, makes all the sense in the world. It really does.
I have a good understanding of how this GM operates, and I think all of you too. It's right in front of you.
Stoked, not scared.
Sure, I guess, yeah. But this to me is not rocket science. Last year, forget last year. Let's go the year prior, then we'll hit last year. Brad Holmes' first draft. What does he do? Secure the offensive line, double down on interior defensive linemen, and he sneaks away with arguably one of the 3 best wide receivers coming out of that draft class. Obviously, in hindsight. You had Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, home runs. You could argue Amon-Ra St. Brown better than Devontae Smith right now. And he was a first-round pick. You got him in the 4th round. Right? So you walked away with that year 1, which was an amazing haul. Everybody was excited about it. I don't blame them. Good. Give me more of those. What does Brad do? He walks away with arguably the best defensive and best offensive prospect in the draft last year. If J-Mo doesn't go down, Drake London's not the first wide receiver off the board. He goes down, you move up to 12, you get the best wide receiver pre-injury. Oh, and Aiden Hutchinson, who was the consensus number 1 outside of Jacksonville.
Fell right in your lap.
Fell to you at 2. It was an easy pick. That was year 2, and I didn't even get to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th round. And now you have this year, where you're going to have 2 second-round picks. You have the 2 first-round picks. You have a ton of capital to move up, move back, do whatever the hell you want. Look, guys, I get it. I get this team's let you down. I've been there. My dad blames me for everything. I was born in 94. They haven't won a division since. My dad blames me for all that shit. All right?
Could be true.
Could be true. Who knows?
My dad blames you too.
Gabby's dad blames me as well. So here we are.
So it's your fault.
The point is, I know it's been really bad. And it has. It's been fucking awful. Arguably the worst ran franchise in professional sports over the last 50 years. But how do you not look at what they've been doing and just acknowledge, yeah, that's the right way to build a football team. Yeah, that's the right way to run a front office. Yeah, that's the right way to hire people. Yeah. You just got to admit it.
Right.
And if you're wrong, which is not really you being wrong, but if they fall on their face this year, that's not your fault.
No.
It's not. You go look at the head coach in the face and say, what the fuck happened? That's what you do. Because there are no excuses. You are the favorites. You have an over-under win total at 9.5. First time since 1989. It's not by accident. You don't need me to tell you this. Wake the fuck up. You don't. Yeah, I come across as a negative Nancy, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care. You're blind not to acknowledge what's going on here. So there's a hell of a football team being made. Its core is very young. You have $100 million to spend next offseason.
And think
you
about
could re-sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You do whatever the hell you want. No pressure.
And the guys that are still on rookie contracts, if they made no moves this offseason, they're still getting better. Like Aiden's by default will get better. Malcolm by default. Kirby, these guys, James Houston, for example, these guys will get better by default. And that's without any moves. And who they've brought in free agency, who they'll bring in through the draft, knowing who Brad is, it's set up for them to go out and win that
James Houston
division.
Guy. I'm not.
Not saying James is going to be some 15-sack
I know,
guy,
but the way this fan base,
from his
and not
rookie
even
to
the fan
second
base,
year, he'll get better.
Because I don't mind when the fans do it, but media members, the way we throw around James Houston's name, like he is some elite edge rusher because he had a spectacular 7-week stretch.
Yeah, he did.
Like I would like to see more, please, before I acclaim him as good or if not a better prospect than some people think than Aiden Hutchinson. Like, can we slow the hell down?
Well, and the crazy part about that, too, is he was only put in on third down in pass rush situations.
Oh, he was effective.
So think about it. If he's, gets able to play more downs, who knows? But you're right. There's a lot of hype. But he is a 6th-round pick, though. Like, regardless of what the hype is, that's who these are the type of guys Brad's bringing in. 6th-round pick, and he got you, 8 sacks in 7 games? Whatever it was.
Whatever the number was.
Ridiculous.
Something along those lines. So, look, the Lions are in a position where they deserve to be because of how they've acted and operated the last 2.5 years.
Right.
That is a consequence of their actions. It's not luck. It's good people making good decisions. Now your coach and the team have to go deliver on the field. That's a whole different element. But right now, you can't sell this team short because of the GM in place and the way their front office operates.